I'm with Tanvi. Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. Tanvi, let me ask you straight up, what was your thoughts on the game today?
First and foremost, really happy we won. 3 points. We're still top of the table. That is ultimately the most important thing. However, I feel like I've left the game feeling a little bit deflated, a little bit disappointed. I think we've got a lot that we can take away from that game that we still need to work on if we want to win this league this year.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you on that, because as much as I'm excited for the win and I'm happy about being top of the table, I do feel that I'm somewhat disappointed. Maybe I'm spoiled. You know what I mean? Maybe we're spoiled as Arsenal fans. We're expected to beat these teams, but I think it's more to do with the fact that we started so well, got the early goal, got another goal, 2-0 up. You're thinking, yeah, we're really going to go and press home the advantage here. For whatever reason today, it didn't quite happen. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. What do you put it down to?
I don't think anyone said this, but I think on the watch along I mentioned, the first half Arsenal that we were was very different to the second half Arsenal that we were. But also the first 2 goals were within the first 15 minutes of the game. And it went on to 95 minutes? That leaves us 80 minutes with no goals. And we had so many chances. So I think firstly, it's just not finishing those chances. I think Frank said we had 19 shots, not all on target, but 19 shots. You're gonna have to convert more than just 2 of those. And then I also think we just had some really silly errors, particularly by Zinchenko this game, that cost us nearly the game. And Eddie should have finished that as well. So I think those were 2 key moments for me.
No, I think you've summed it up perfectly. At the top end, there were chances there that on another day we should have converted. And then, as you quite rightly said, and you referenced Zinchenko, he was probably the biggest culprit, but it wasn't just him. But there was a few errors there that I call unforced errors.
Exactly.
And those can come back to bite you. Luckily, they didn't totally today. But so we do need to be cognizant of that and try and correct that going forward, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I just feel like today's game should have been like minimum 4-0, 5-0, right? And when it comes to closer to the end of the season, games like this, we are unfortunately going to look back on if it comes down to things like goal difference. And it's like, this could have been an easy 5-0 win. It's really frustrating that it wasn't that. And also now going into a game like Luton, we've got Villa, they should be easy wins. But when we're making things this difficult for ourselves at home against Wolves, it makes me more nervous than we as Arsenal fans should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I saw, don't know if you saw it, but towards the end of the game there, Mikel Arteta was kind of holding his breath a little bit, sort of withdrawing into himself.
We all were.
Yeah, he was looking a bit nervous. I mean, he probably
does
not going to admit it, but I definitely detected signs of nervousness there. So, but listen, that being said, 2-1, another win. It's looking good in terms of where we are in the league. We're currently topping the Premier League. We're topping our Champions League group. Things are overall looking very rosy. How do you think that projects forward for the rest of the season?
Yeah, look, I'm still happy we have a win. Going forward, I think things that we really need to be careful about are injuries now. We've said it a few times in the watch-along. I think it's great that we have such a strong bench. We have a few very versatile players. So I think going forward, we just need to keep rotating players, making sure people are resting, making sure people are getting minutes as well. I think you said it was important that you can't just rest someone for a few games and then expect them to come on and do something. So I think, it's just making sure everyone is getting the opportunities that they should be, just to be the best Arsenal we can be. And I still have faith. I think as long as we take lessons from this, as long as we identify what the key problems were and we work on them in training and we really look to overcome them in the next few games, it's still looking good. I'm not losing faith.
No, you're quite right to say that. In terms of, we're talking about resting and bringing in players, would you make any changes for the game against Luton on this coming Tuesday?
I think the main one, Tomiyasu, I don't think he needs to be playing, especially when it's against Luton. So I personally would rest him, maybe have Ben White start, and he's still just as strong, if not stronger to some people. Maybe start Havertz again. I think a lot of people have said this, but I personally was surprised he wasn't starting today, so I think it would be nice to see him start. And in terms of our top 3, I mean, I think against someone like Luton, we can afford to change the top 3 up slightly or bring off our key players earlier on. So I know people might slam me for this, but Eddie might be a good alternative for a game like that where we can afford to rest players if we're winning.
I mean, Eddie, he came on, he looked lively. I'll give him his due. He did try and make a difference up top, but then he had that chance at the end there.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why everyone has a leg to stand on when they criticise him. It's completely fair. But I do think when he does score and when he does bring on fresh legs and when he does create chances, he makes some real magic. So I think a game like Luton is probably one that you can afford to test that a little bit more.
Although I thought Jesus today, he didn't score today, but he was quite instrumental in the goals that we got. And I thought his link-up play was excellent. But again, in terms of scoring goals, he's not the most prolific.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, off the ball work, the assists, the vision, the through balls, I think Jesus does a fantastic job. But ultimately, if you're then doing all that and missing 2 key chances, that's not great either. So I think, he does need to be finishing those chances too, because that game just shouldn't have been 2-1.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. In closing, man of the match, who would you have awarded man of the match to today?
For me, it's an easy decision. I think Saka was great throughout. He got his goal. He really held the team together. And I think Saka scoring also really increases the team morale and confidence, which basically would have got us through this game. I think Odegaard had a great game. I think Tomiyasu also had a great game. I think Rice is consistently really good. But I don't think anyone had an outstanding performance overall. So if I had to give it to one person, it would be Saka.
I think you pretty much nailed it. Well said.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Laurie.
much. Take care.